YouTubers vs MMA fighters. Jake Paul popularized this beef, and when you think of influencers lacing up gloves, Jake and KSI are typically the first two people that pop into your head. That being said, today I wanted to talk about another capable YouTube boxer, Faze Jarvis, and his spar with UFC welterweight contender Colby Covington. I caught wind of the sparring session thanks to a video Sean Jones did for his channel, and after watching the footage for myself, my respect for Colby has gone up dramatically. As the spar begins, both guys are taking it slow and finding their rhythm. Colby doesn't throw hard shots at all really during this entire spar, but as the rounds go on, he amps up the pace. He makes Jarvis work harder and harder, but as the more experienced fighter, Colby never goes out to try to hurt Jarvis. To him, this sparring session is a bit of a move about and a way to teach Jarvis. It's not about making an example out of this YouTube boxer. Jarvis has decent boxing fundamentals, but he finds himself loading up on shots a lot more than Colby, and the latter easily moves out of range. Like Sean said in his video, Colby is actually really good at distance management, controlling the range, and getting out of harm's way. He seems to be always just out of the way of a firing line and manages to evade his opponent's attacks. Then Colby continues to stick it on Jarvis, not by throwing insanely powerful shots, but by just being in his face, pouring out his lead hand. I like this spar because Colby probably has an idea of who Jarvis is, where his level was at in boxing, and didn't seek to fuck him up. It was playful, I'm sure Jarvis learned a couple things, and that's really what sparring is about, depending on the type of sparring you're doing. If you compare Colby's spar with Jarvis to Strickland vs Sneako, the difference is night and fucking day. I don't really care about Sneako's political beliefs or whatever, I don't care if he deserves an ass beating, and I also don't give a fuck if Sneako thought the beating was a blessing. That's not how a professional fighter should spar a total novice. The way Strickland tried to beat the fuck out of Sneako came off as really insecure and fucking lame, and it's a stark contrast to how Colby handled a YouTuber. Even if Sneako was acting like a hard man before they got into the ring, there's a certain way you can humble someone without trying to drop them as a professional fighter. Let me just make that clear. I say trying because Strickland couldn't even knock out a Twitch streamer. Also, imagine Strickland trying to do that to Jake Paul in a boxing ring. I think UFC fans would be surprised at how that match would go. Jake Paul would win that handedly. I get that this is old news, but watching Colby vs Jarvis really made me think about how a pro fighter should spar people that are new to the sport. Jarvis can handle himself, don't get me wrong, but Colby has been in the fight game for years and years. And how he was sparring is what I'd expect from a person who has studied martial arts for a long time. A person typically goes into a boxing or MMA gym for the first time to either lose weight, learn how to defend themselves, or to simply get focused. It would be fucking malpractice essentially to let a professional fighter of 10 years fight a novice like Strickland did vs Sneako. I know the circumstances are different and Sneako was just recording content, but still, that's not how a true master of mixed martial arts handles a situation like that, and all respect to Colby for being a true pro. Anyway, that's it. I'll catch you down the road.